why am I not making money? And then I realized, oh, it's because I wasn't focusing on the things that would make me money, like creating digital products, working on a course in the background, educating my audience and building stronger relationships with them. People get a little intimidated with like, well, I don't want to mention my products because I don't want to sound salesy. Like, okay, well then how are you going to make money if they don't know about your products? First, know your audience, check to see what they're asking for. Look at the comments of your videos, comments of your content. What are they asking you for? Are they always asking you, oh my gosh, where is that outfit from? Where are those sunglasses from? If they're asking you questions like that, maybe affiliates is going to be the best place. If they're constantly like, oh, I have this video idea, or like, oh man, I wish you showed the behind the scenes of like this process. If they're asking for like more from you, then maybe the membership approach is a good idea. So understanding your audience and what they would consider valuable so that then you could put a price point on it, sell it to them, or offer it to them, of course, without sounding salesy in whatever way that means to you.
This is Millie Adrian. She makes over $750,000 annually, teaching content creators strategies for growth and monetization with her channel, Modern Millie. Millie's aspirations for Instagram model fame failed, forcing her back into corporate life just for COVID to intervene, giving her a second chance to find her way to YouTube success. In this episode, we're going to discuss her horrible money situation caused by COVID, her secret to building a creator business, tips for selling to your audience without being salesy, the massive scare that she had with her YouTube channel being hacked and deleted, and her decision to cut back on brand partnerships to focus more on her own courses and having a personal life. Millie really shows us how you can overcome hardship and derailment and find YouTube success. The Funded YouTuber is brought to you by Gigastar. My friend, my girl, Millie, I cannot wait for this because you and I are in the same space and we have wildly massive different journeys on how we're running businesses and doing brands. And I cannot wait to like dive into yours and share it with the world. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm so ready, Desiree. Let's do this.
All right, Millie, what do you create on YouTube?
Right now, I create a lot of educational videos. So I teach content creators how to build a personal brand, scale on social media, whether it be Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and profit off their passion of content creation, whether that's like brand collaborations, affiliate marketing, UGC, selling digital products courses, all the things. I like to try to be that one-stop shop for content creators.
In this journey, how did you get to this specific niche and audience?
It's kind of like a roundabout way. I originally started, I wanted to be an Instagram model. So, like back in the day, I started doing portrait modeling for potential print opportunities. And as I was taking pictures and posting them to Instagram, people would ask, like, how are you editing your photos? How do you know how to pose in photos? How do you have confidence to show up on the camera? Like, I feel so awkward. And I've always been a teacher. I taught dance for 9 years. I originally went to school because I wanted to be a teacher. I had to drop out of college for other reasons, but that's always like been my thing, like I love teaching. And so when people would ask questions, I would answer them. I'd be like, okay, this is how I pose. Here's a few tips. Here's some tricks. Here's like how you could get a little bit of a confidence boost before you take pictures. And then as I started teaching, more questions were asked. And then it's like, okay, well, how are you writing your captions? What hashtags do you use? And it just like snowballed into, well, I just want to help people create confidently. And then that snowballed into, now I'm making money with this and people want to know how to make money with it. So I'm just going to teach what I do. And the more people would ask questions, the more I would learn. And then the more I would learn, the more they would ask. So it was a very much give and take relationship.
Because you're so good at what you're doing, you're positioning this, you're helping so many other creators. Do you ever feel like those that can't do teach kind of a thing about it? Because you've been able to do though in this totally different way, but you didn't do it as an Instagram model way. Like how did you reconcile that transition in your mind?
Like how did I transition from like Instagram model to educator teacher?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I don't think I noticed the transition actually. I think it was just so natural for me to just teach. And I was still like trying to pursue modeling on the side. Like I was just teaching what people would ask on Instagram while still doing the modeling. And then as I was creating, I would like listen to the Influencer podcast from Julie Solomon or Gold Digger podcast from Jenna Kutcher. I had like a 2-hour commute for work. So I was just listening to those podcasts and learning like I can make money with social media. maybe I should try to like monetize off of my content creation. And if people are asking me questions, maybe I could create a coaching group. Maybe I could charge people to help them one-on-one. I was just trying to figure out how could I monetize it. And then when I started brainstorming the best ways to monetize, I think that naturally guided me to positioning myself to be an educator instead of a model, which I wasn't really good at anyway. So I think I was better with educating.
We all kind of become little models on our own though when we're doing this because we have to do the cheesy thumbnail situation and
Right. The
all those
thumbnails.
real pictures and stuff for the gram and stuff like that. When did you realize that you could make a full-time income educating people about how to be creators and influencers?
Honestly, the moment I realized it was the moment that my YouTube channel got monetized. And it wasn't even a big number amount. It wasn't like I made $10,000 or even $1,000 like, "Oh, I could be a full-time creator." I pretty sure when I got the email saying like, "Hey, your channel qualifies for monetization," my first payout, which they didn't actually pay out because you have to make a certain amount, was like $3 maybe. And just knowing that my YouTube channel could make money, even if it was $3, that just blew my mind and just proved like you're on the right path. You can do this. You can do this. So many other people are doing it. You can do it.
When were you able to transition that thought process of I can make money doing this to now I can go full time doing this?
That transition was when I was coaching. So I was doing group coaching and brand collaborations. Those were my first two income streams before I was even monetized fully on YouTube. I think I had 7 people sign up for my group coaching. And I was like, if I could have 7 people sign a 3-month agreement, this could fully replace my income, my corporate income, plus brand collaborations. So if I could do both of those things, I could make this a full-time job.
You've done all of that, and when you've gone full time, what was a situation that you ran into within all of this that was like, wow, this is a really, really shitty money situation? Like, almost makes you rethink wanting to do it. Like, what's a bad money situation that you had that you've encountered?
Yeah. My bad money situation was it's funny because it happened after I quit my job to go full time. So, October 2019, that was my first like month being self-employed. And that's when I was coaching, that's when I was doing brand collaborations, and I also did a few VA side projects. So I was hustling October, November, December, then January, February is when I'm like, okay, why am I not making more money? What's going on? I kind of wanted to throw in the towel and give up. Also, February, we're getting ready to pay for a wedding. So originally we were going to get married April 2020. So we have like a lot of wedding expenses that were coming up. And I'm like, I can't afford this. I need a job. And my dog also got diagnosed with an autoimmune disease, IMHA, and it has like a 90% mortality rate. And so we were in the hospital a lot with her, and those hospital bills were piling up. We had to set a limit of like, okay, we could only pay like up to $10,000, and then we have to call it a day before we have to like give up on her, like just like put her to rest. So like we were paying for a wedding, paying for dog hospital bills. And that was my low point where I was like, I need a job. So February, I did go back to corporate and I did get a job. I worked for 2 weeks before I was let go because of COVID.
Oh, wow.
So I was there for 2 weeks. I had just finished training and they're like, we have to let all of the new trainees go because COVID, it was a very social job and they let off 80% of the staff in the area that I was in. So like that was very low moment, but it kind of started to pick up after that because from bad comes good because I was able to qualify for unemployment because technically I was let go.
Yeah.
Even though I worked there for 2 weeks, I was let go. Therefore, I qualified for unemployment. I was able to like make a consistent income with the unemployment while still hustling with my side hustle. At the time, I was like, this is just my side hustle. I'm just going to do corporate for a bit. And then August 2020 is when finally my content started taking off and I was able to monetize a lot more.
Totally get that because I worked for myself for a very long time. Like I've had gone in and out of jobs. I had my last job in 2013, and then what happened was is I got married, got pregnant, we went into the military. My husband went into the military, so it was like it was a very crazy August of 2013. All of that happened in the same month, and so it was this very like interesting situation. We went in the military because of the stability and needing like, hey, we're gonna have a person we have to take care of. We probably should make sure we always have a place to live and food to feed them. Like it was a lot of like those sort of decisions, but I remember in March of 2020 when COVID happened, I lost 90% of my clients because they're all like, everybody went into panic, instant save mode. They're like, nope, I need nothing. I think like the one or two clients that I had left were from like this really weird situation. I had that same moment where I was like, what am I supposed to do? Like the thing that saved us at the exact same time that COVID started, my husband was given his 100% disabled veterans like diagnostic or
Mm,
whatever it's called,
yeah.
this like random horrible but like random savings grace that allowed us to kind of catch our feet. And at that exact same time I had the exact same thing happen where it's like, okay, it just blew up with my YouTube channel because everyone was like, well, how do I do social media? I probably should go online. And then
Yeah.
I got really popular with all my live streaming content because I did a whole series of like how to like, and I was like, well, if I can't do this in person, I'm going to do this virtually. So it just became this like massive, and it was like this really weird, like you said, I love how you said from bad to good sort of thing that happened. And it's so interesting to us in this creator space. Like you're building something, and there are just some times where you can't expect or predict the situation that causes virality or attention that allows for you to create these new businesses and situations to help you financially flourish and thrive.
Now that you're saying that, I'm remembering all these other things too. Like I also, because I had VA clients October 2019, that's how I was able to like coaching, brand collabs, VA clients. When COVID hit, not only was I let go from my job, but all my like VA clients or virtual assistant clients, they're like, we can't invest into this right now. We don't know what's going to happen. John also, who's like does video production, my husband, all of his clients were like, we have to stop video production. We can't be on set. So like it felt like our dog is in the hospital. We're both lost all of our jobs. We have to cancel our wedding. Like all of these like worse, horrible things. And then just like months of just like being in quarantine ended up being a blessing for us because it's like, okay, I have no other choice but to work on my business. There's no other choice.
It's a really interesting thing. I remember someone post on Facebook once. I know Facebook, don't hate me, but they were posting on Facebook. They're like, you're going to be able to tell who used their time in quarantine wisely. And it was literally like, it's going to be a time for everyone to take time to reflect on like what it is that they actually want to do and what actually matters to them. And some people, it was a blessing because they just needed to like go in and retreat and rest and not have to worry about stuff, spend time with their family, reevaluate some things. That's when people are like, this is the time where I can pick up hobbies or find a workout routine, or I can figure out how food works in my life and stuff. Then there are those other people that are like, I need to figure out, this is my chance to start a side hustle, or it's my chance to figure out how to reinvigorate my business in a new way, or add in things that are missing because I couldn't do things in person anymore. And now my business is super in person dependent. So like, how can we thrive and come out of that? And COVID was this randomly weird, horrible life, like world situation that we're still, I think, reeling from, but it has really, I think, gave so many people so many gifts at the same time that they're able to do it. And I know for me, the biggest struggle that I dealt with within COVID was I didn't get to people. I'm a very extroverted person, and being around people is a very important part of my mental health. And on top of it, I had booked a ton, like a ton of speaking gigs because I'm like, okay, we're out of military life. It's time to build that brain. It's time to get in front of people, establish that credibility. I'm already doing this YouTube thing. I've been in the space for this long. It's time to go talk. All of that stuff went away. And it was just so defeating and like hard for me. And the thing that was able to pull me out of it was figuring out like how to like having this success with my YouTube channel and being able to find new hope in this industry that I've been in for so long that was so stagnant for me. What were you able to do to stay positive after, I'm sure you definitely had the hide under the covers, eat the cookie dough moment, but how did you get yourself out of that bad spot?
My husband, well, fiance at the time, husband and family were huge support pillars for me. Like the day of our wedding, my family and all of our friends created like this really special big card that everybody signed, and they sent us food. For our caterer that was supposed to cater the wedding sent us food and cakes like to our apartment, so like it made that day really special even though we couldn't get married. And then fortunately our dog did pull through, which was not expected. We had like all of the people, the vets, they're like, she's not going to make it. I even called a family friend who's been a vet for like 25 years, and he's like, she's not going to make it. But she pulled through. And then, so we had like positive spins to everything. And then I was honestly just working on my YouTube videos was the positive. I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. I've loved YouTube, and being able to create was my outlet. Hanging out with John and just like becoming best friends on a whole other level because we're forced to live together in such a small proximity. Just becoming even closer friends with him too, and building more intimacy. Just all of the things that like I've always wanted to live the life where I'm just a YouTuber, and that was my trial. You know, I was like, cool, I'm a YouTuber right now because all I am doing is making YouTube videos and getting paid on unemployment, but that's fine. So it was like testing the waters, and it really gave me a lot of life.
I love that for you. And it's important to note too for anyone that's like about like unemployment or whatever, or even like being able to do like we all got the stimulus checks and stuff. Like that save people. Those are programs that are in place for a reason. We've paid for those and we're paying for them still now with our taxes and stuff. So I would never feel bad about that because it allowed for you to survive and live and eat and stuff. We're in COVID, it's August, you're blowing up, you're doing all this stuff. Tell me about how you started to build a business around this, not just doing this coaching thing, doing this AdSense thing, the brand deals things, like how did you build this business around it?
I think something that helped me a lot with turning it into a business was investing in courses. So I think two of the biggest investments, three, I'll name drop. Course from Scratch by Daniel Leslie helped me create my first version of the course that I wanted to create. YouTube for Bosses, Sunny Lenarduzzi. YouTube for Bosses was like the YouTube course. And then the Creator Bootcamp from Christina Galbato is like an Instagram course. So investing into courses and learning just fast tracked my learning instead of doing free content over and over, and then following the roadmap of like, okay, this is how this person grew on Instagram, this is how this person grew on YouTube, this is how this person built a course. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to follow the steps, and I'm going to build digital products that funnel into this big idea of like, I have an Instagram course idea in mind, but in the meantime, I'm going to bring on like 6 people to take my course from me one-on-one, you know, where I'm testing the material. So I just started being a lot more strategic with my learning and my output. I think that was a mistake I made in October 2019, was where I was spending my time. I wasn't spending my time on the money making side of things. And that's why it didn't work for me, because I thought, oh, I'm going to be a full time content creator. Yeah, I'm a full time content creator. Now I'm posting to Instagram every day. So it was like, make an Instagram post, post it. Make an Instagram post, post it. That's what I was doing in 2019. And I was like, why am I not making money? And then I realized because I wasn't focusing on the things that would make me money, like creating digital products, working on a course in the background, educating my audience and building stronger relationships with them. So I just had to be really intentional with how I was spending my time.
I love that you experienced so like I'm a content creator, I'm going to post stuff and the money's just going to happen, and that didn't work. I get a little bee in my bonnet about the whole like just start creating content and you're going to be able to like figure it out. Just create a better video than the one before and the money will come and the business will build, and it hurts my heart a little bit because you can have that approach, but you still have to have, I think, at some point, like I don't want to say an end game, but like at some point you need to create with an intention. Like my goal financially is to get money from these things in this way for this reason. And so many of them don't. As someone who teaches creators and educates creators about like the business of being a creator and what entrepreneurship looks like, what do you see as the biggest money mistake that creators are making? And I'd love to get this almost like in 2 parts, when they're starting and then when they're growing.
Yeah, I think the biggest money mistake is what I did, you know, thinking like the money's gonna flow if you're just posting to Instagram, like that was my mistake. I'm just like taking pretty pictures, making fun content, posting it, expecting brands to come to me and reach out to me because I'm so cool. Like that was what I thought would happen. When in reality, I had to flip it. And my first collaboration I landed was because I pitched to the brand. I reached out to them. They have so many creators to choose from, so many influencers to try to find. I wanted to get in front of their face, and that was like the change that I made to land brand collaborations. And then I think for people, that's the starting out answer. And then for people who are like growing, maybe already a little bit established, the money making mistake could be that you don't want to sell. You don't want to sound salesy, so therefore you don't sell your products that you have, and then you don't make money because nobody knows you have products. The people get a little intimidated with like, well, I don't want to mention my products because I don't want to sound salesy. Like, okay, well then how are you going to make money if they don't know about your products? So, and that's something that I struggled with too, is like, I didn't want to talk about my products because I didn't want to sound salesy. I didn't want to be like, you want to grow on Instagram? Take my course. Like I didn't want to do that. So I had to figure out a way, how can I sell in a way that feels authentic to me and in a way that I would want to be sold to? So those were kind of like the two money making mistakes I'd see creators make.
How can creators reframe their words and what they create to tell people, hey, I have this thing, I'd like you to buy it? Because there's also this underlying layer of it. Like, if you don't buy this, I can't make money, which means I can't keep doing this. Like, how do they do that effectively without it also being, salesy or disingenuous?
I think there's a few layers to it. One is consistency in telling people about it. So I like to make sure I'm always mentioning a freebie or a resource in all of my content. If it's not verbally, it's in the caption. If it's not verbally, it's in the pinned comment on a YouTube video, and it's just always saying that I have something in the YouTube description, in the pinned comment, in a caption on Instagram. Even if I don't say it in that thing, it's still nice to like, people read the captions. What if you post a video teaching like, hey, here's 5 steps to grow on Instagram, but you don't say, go take my Instagram course. You don't say it, but in the caption, it says like, if you're somebody who wants to fast track your growth and learn step-by-step processes, check out my Instagram course in my link in bio or in my website. So consistency, whether it's verbally saying it or text saying it. And then also for me, a big component was giving away a bunch of free value and educating. If I am trying to sell a course on plants and like here's like everything you need to know about house plants and the soils and light, like how much light do they need, do you have a house tent that traps the humidity, what should the humidity be at, like everything house plants, I'm going to teach all of that for free. I'm going to say this is a soil mix that you could use for your next Ethereum or Monstera. You're going to use this, you're going to use this, you're going to use this, mix it all together. Here's the measurements. Boom shakalaka, your Monstera is growing like wild and your happy plants. Woo. So I'm teaching everything for free. And then a call to action could be like, if you want to learn more about plants, check out my course. But I'm always giving away free value, free education, no fluff. I'm not going to be like, so you want to grow on Instagram? Well, I'm not going to tell you how because you have to take my course. I'm always giving away information that's in my course for free.
It's the behind the ear for me.
Yeah.
Love it. It's behind the No, okay. I love this advice for those of us who are in the education and business space and we're trying to give value to people. What about for those that are in the like entertainment space? So these are going to be your vloggers, your gamers, your sensationalist content people. Like, let's be honest, the people that tend to be in our top 525 trending sort of things, the things the vast majority of people want to be and things like that. What do they do to make money and also not be salesy about it?
It's going to be different for every creator because for those creators, you have to know and understand your audience so incredibly well where you know what they would pay for. I can't show up to some random person's channel and say, oh, your audience would find value in a membership. when like, what if their audience wouldn't find value in a membership? They know their audience better than me. So it's first, know your audience, check to see what they're asking for, look at the comments of your videos, comments of your content. What are they asking you for? Are they always asking you like, oh my gosh, where is that outfit from? Where are those sunglasses from? You know, like if they're asking you questions like that, maybe affiliates is going to be the best place. If they're constantly like, oh, I have this video idea, or like, man, I wish you showed the behind the scenes of like this process. If they're asking for like more from you, then maybe the membership approach is a good idea. So understanding your audience and what they would consider valuable so that then you could put a price point on it, sell it to them, or offer it to them, of course, without sounding salesy in whatever way that means to you.
No, I think that's really, really helpful. And I love like the thing about like affiliates, like courses are like one of the creators, I think, top favorite ways of making money as a digital product. But people really underestimate the power of affiliates, especially when you can find like the good affiliates. Like we all have that easy barrier to entry affiliate with Amazon. I think it's a great like way for everyone to get started. There are a lot of really great tools that creators use to get higher percentages and services. Like even with Amazon influencer program, you can sign up for like they have all these different programs. Like one of the ones I know about is Logi, where it's like it's a service that like helps you get higher commissions on your affiliates that you're doing because they've negotiated relationships with the stores that own it. So like, okay, you signed up and you sold 10 of these items, but Amazon's only giving you 3%. Well, because we have this partnership over here, you're actually going to get an additional 15% commission off of it, right?
Mhm.
So spending that time doing that, like there are ways to do it that are going to be a little bit scrappier, require a little bit of research. It's the unfun, non-creative part of this world.
Yeah.
Of our creator world, but it's also I think super necessary and super vital and helpful for creators on that journey. Before we dive in the pie chart, which is like our my claim to fame here, where we like break down your income streams. You had something horrible happen to you recently that I really wanted to dive in because I would love to know about how you dealt with this, how it made you kind of reevaluate where and how you're creating, and like what it's making you think about for your future plan for income. And so, what happened to you, and for those that obviously don't follow her, she had her YouTube channel stolen, like hacked and deleted. And by the miracles and understanding of the YouTube gods, they were able to work with her to get it back to her. I would love for you to dive into that really hard journey. And I'm sorry if it's triggering, but I think it's important to talk about because you said we could ask you about it.
Yeah, so don't worry, it's not triggering at all. I find it funny. I don't know. I also like I have a video on it on my YouTube channel that I just posted about like, oh, my channel was hacked. This is what happened. And I like was vlogging the experience. Like once I found out I was hacked, I was like, this is a video. I get my camera. And I'm just like, I did not freak out. And I think it's because so what happened was I have my YouTube channel, right? And I have the master account. So Millie's login, that's Millie's login to the master account for Modern Millie. And then within my account, I can give user permissions and I could give permission to other people with other email addresses to edit my content. So I have people on my team who can go in, upload YouTube videos. They can set thumbnails, they can change descriptions, titles, all the things. So one of the people who had permission to my channel were the people who got hacked. And that's how the hackers got control of my channel. They changed everything. They changed my channel name, profile photo, banner image, got rid of all my playlists, replaced playlists with their playlists. It was like an Ethereum channel and privated all of my YouTube videos, turned off monetization for all of my YouTube videos, and just like turned everything off for me. Luckily, because I still had master access, all my team had to do was log in, remove everybody else who had access, and they lost access pretty quickly. The hackers did. So I think the hackers had access for maybe 2 hours. My team, they were the first ones to catch it. So they got the like brunt force of the trauma because they were like, oh my gosh, we were hacked, freak out. And they had to fix it. I also was on vacation visiting a friend in Washington. I wasn't by my phone. I didn't know it was happening until I checked my phone and they had already gotten access back. So they got the channel access back. But few hours later, my channel was completely removed from YouTube because the hackers violated community guidelines. So I got an email from YouTube saying your channel has been removed for violating community guidelines. It's not public, it didn't exist. And I just had to go through the proper steps of like, okay, fill out this form if this is false. Tell us more information about what happened. I did. Within like 20 minutes, YouTube replied and they're like, hey, we need more info. Fill out this second form. Filled out the second form. And then within 24 hours, channel again was back up for reels this time, but we still had to change everything back to my branding, make videos public, turn monetization on, all the things.
That sounds really tedious and stressful. And your grace is incredible through this. I don't know how I would have been able to handle that. Let me tell you my side of what you went through. So I see this video because Millie's on my alerts because, I follow her stuff because she's my quote unquote competitor. She talks, but we are in similar spaces. So I'm always tracking what she's doing because it's always so great. And so I get the alert say, oh, Millie has a video. And it was my video got deleted. And I was like, or my YouTube channel got deleted. I was like, ah. And so I watched her video and I was just like, oh my God, this is awful. And I called my insurance lady for my business insurance. I talked to her the next day, actually. We have an in-person local networking thing that we're in. And I told her about it. I was like, hey, so if this happens to me, and I told her like YouTube channel gets deleted and like I lose this income, am I covered? And she's like, huh, I'm gonna need more information. And so then she asked me a question. She's like, well, how much money do you make from your YouTube channel? And I tell her, and she's like, oh my, yeah, we're gonna need to make sure that your YouTube channel is covered under your policy as part of like the addendums of what you're doing. Because when you get your insurance quote, it goes through underwriter. The underwriter makes sure all the details are in place so that like you're not scamming, and then the person that like if something does happen, the payout like makes sense, right? So all of the things are in order. And so for me to tell her like, hey, I make like let's take aside AdSense, which is honestly terrible. But like you think like my affiliates and my traffic and then also like my sponsorship deals and stuff, we're talking $7,000-8,000 a month of my income. And as a little old me solopreneur who just uses her YouTube channel to fund her life and takes care of her family, that's catastrophic. And so, and especially because of the income that's attached to it. And so like that was how I dealt with what happened to you, which is super like unrelated, but very, I think, an important lesson to tie into that. So knowing that, okay, so I've shared my part, you shared your part. How did this change how you like move forward, if at all?
Well, I definitely make sure people who have access to post to my channel have two-factor authentication on for their own personal emails. I'm very now limited on the people who do have access to my channel, which I was already like very limited before, but now even more so. I also it showed me how valuable an email list is and just like how grateful I am that I have an email list, because if I wasn't able to get my channel up, or even if it took like 2 weeks to get my channel up, I still have like my Instagram platform. I still have my email list of like people who were like, hey, we want you to contact us whenever you want. Drop us an email. We'll be your best friend, your email best friend, right? So I'm just really grateful for the other platforms that I had been building up over time. It showed me that like you could get hacked at any time. No platform is guaranteed. We joke around and say like, oh, Instagram could go away at any time, or like TikTok could be banned at any time. But I think the real threat is like, oh, your account can get hacked at any time. Not just like these big name platforms are going to like retire and delete off of the face of the earth. It's more so like people with bad intentions can hack you and remove all your content, delete your stuff, and that's really hard to come back from.
Luckily, I think in your case and in my other friend's case that had this, like their audiences were there for them. Like, hey, did you know this was happening? Like, what's going on? Like, you clearly got hacked because they're talking about stuff that you have nothing to do with. Like, they're talking about crypto or whatever else thing that they're
Yeah.
talking about on there. And it's just, honestly, for me, it makes me angry in this extra layer where it's like, stop being lazy and just go do the work. Like,
Right. Like, why hacking my, that's a lot of effort.
yeah, it's my job. Like, imagine if someone just came into your place of business and just like took everything from your desk and said, figure it out. So, this is going to take us, I think, into our pie chart. Let's go over your income streams. So, we break this down one piece at a time. And so, your first one that you have that makes up 10% of your income is your AdSense. And then 10% comes from sponsorships. Now, you recently made a big pivot in how your sponsorships and your brand partnerships work. Can you share with us what that journey has been like and why you made the changes that you've?
Yes. So last year I decided to offboard almost all partnerships. The past 2 years, partnerships have been a huge chunk of my income, even making upwards of more than 6 figures a year from brand collaborations. But there's a few things that went into I wanted to slow down that process. One, there was this one time where a brand collaboration that was supposed to happen fell through. So I was like, you know what? I'll sponsor the video myself. I'll mention my course in it, you know? So I just was like, oh, this video sponsored by me, talked about my course. And I made more money mentioning my course than I would have with the partnership. And so that was like a really big eye opener because I was like, oh, people want to hear about my courses. Like if I just sponsor my own videos, talk about some products that I have in the middle of the video, if it's related to the video topic, people want to hear about it. So that was just one thing. And then I felt like I had kind of fallen into the trap of I was just accepting partnerships that I was like, oh, this could be a good partnership because creators could use this. You know, creators could use this product. Creators could use this brand. Even though I hadn't had a lot of experience with the company, it was like, well, I think creators could find this valuable. Let's work together. And so I wanted to take a step away from that. And my goal this year is I'm only doing partnerships with brands that I've used. Like I use them day to day. I use them day to day, or brands that like maybe I don't use them day to day, but it's a big name brand that like creators will find this really valuable. You know, like maybe I don't use Canva every day, right? Canva, my team uses Canva more than I use Canva now, but that would be something where like if Canva reached out, I'm like, yes, absolutely, I'm doing partnerships with them. So I wanted to be more nitpicky with the partnerships, and it also took a load off of me stress wise. I found that when I was doing back to back weekly, sometimes I even did 2 collabs a week. When I was on that, I felt more burnout than like creating content for myself. Like the burnout wasn't coming from, oh, the content creation. The burnout was coming from, I need to turn this video around fast enough for the brand to approve. And then the brand has revisions and now I need to film revisions. And oh, I also have this collaboration over here I can't forget about. And this one's on Instagram. This one's on YouTube. This one needs to be delivered in 3 ways, you know? And so like, I was getting more burnt out from brand collaborations working for other people than I was making my own content working for myself. And so there's a lot of things that went into the decision. This year, we've only worked with 2 brands, I think. And it's been really like a breath of fresh air. I feel more creative freedom when I'm thinking up of YouTube video ideas because I'm not thinking, oh, it has to be related to the brand. I'm just thinking, what's my audience going to like? And then I make a video about what I think my audience will like, you know? So that's kind of so many reasons, all of them put together.
For the 2 brand collaborations that you still are maintaining, did you like reach out to them and say, hey, do you want access to me very exclusively or limitedly because I'm only doing this? Or was it like, were you already working with them and were like, hey, I'm doing this and I'd like to do more of this together, much more exclusively and like in this kind of a way? How did you determine who got to stay and go and what did it look like?
One of them I had worked with last year, and I just really liked working with them. I think they have a great platform that I don't use, but I've referred people to use them, and every person I've referred them to love them. So like that one, I was like, cool. I love working with them. I love their team. Let's just continue working together. The other one I reached out to. So I work with Stan, you know, Stan store.
Yeah, stand for.
I don't like work with them, but I have like an affiliate link. Anybody who has an account with Stan, you can have an affiliate link. And I just love Stan. I tell everybody about Stan. And so I reached out to them last year and I was like, hey, do you want to sponsor any videos next year? Because like, I just love you guys. I'm already talking about you in all of my videos. And so I was already talking about them. And so we agreed like once a quarter, they'll sponsor a video, but I'm talking about them in more videos than once a quarter. So that one just like happened to work out. And then we have a future collaboration that's coming up. So in Q2, we'll have one new collaboration and they reached out to me.
I don't know if you ever I know Justin Moore. He is the brainchild over at Creator Wizard, Brand Wizard. And he always says the worst way for you to reach out to a brand is to say, I love your product. And you saw all the time. But I'm like, Justin, that's how I get my people because I love their brands and products. And they're like, what? You do? And you're a video creator? We should talk more.
I could show Stan like, here's the 10 videos that I made last year that all included your product. I'm already referring this many people a month. Like, we should just work together every once in a while. You know, like it's true. I love their product.
I love that flirt to result situation. That's super, I think, important. And people, I think, underestimate that a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, so for affiliates, it makes up only 3.5% of your income. And then you also have 1.5 of your percent of your income that comes from spokesperson and UGC work. And while it's still a small amount, it still was worth noting. What do you do in that space?
Yes. So for spokesperson slash UGC specifically, I categorized that as brand collaborations that I've worked with where I didn't post the content, but they wanted me to create UGC for them to post to their platforms. So
Okay.
of all the brand collaborations that I had last year, only 1.5% of them asked for additional UGC.
Now, 75% of your income comes from courses and digital products.
Mhm.
We've talked about courses a lot in here. What are some of the other digital products that you have in place that help build out such a large percentage of your income?
The digital products that I have are mostly ebooks and they all relate to my courses. So, really, I would say a majority of that 75 is my courses because I have 3 or 4 courses. And then the digital products are ebooks that teach people, hey, this is how you do this, or here's a bundle for pitch templates, media kit guide. This is how you can land brand collaborations, like a little bundle of products to help creators get started. It's like that smaller tier offer if they're not sure they want to buy a course, but they want to learn from me. Here's a little bundle of like learning materials to test the waters, see if we're a good fit before making the decision to buy a higher ticket item.
Now, one of the other things that I'd like to ask you a little bit about before we dive into what your next money move is because you've mentioned a couple times, is that you have a team in place. One of the things that's important about growing as a creator is scaling. And scaling can sometimes be a scary and dirty word in our space sometimes because something about scaling, I think subconsciously makes people like feel like they're having a loss of creative freedom and creativity. As creators, we want to be creative. And so it can be a little hard to balance that. Can you share with us like what your team looks like and what tasks that they do for you? And how does it help you with being a creator and then an entrepreneur?
I'll share my team. First, I want to say for anybody who's watching, listening, you don't have to scale if you don't want to. I know there's like the big thing is like this is how you scale your business. This is how you make more money. This is how you like that's the big hype. That's kind of what everybody teaches. That's what I teach. That's because scaling has worked for me and I love it. But scaling is not for everybody. If you can find a way to make enough money that supports your lifestyle without scaling, or even with one person helping you out, that's perfect for you. Like, keep what works for you. You don't have to scale to what I'm going to say. There's people who are like scaled beyond me too, but like I have like a team of 10 plus people. You don't have to do this. This is not for everybody. This is just what I enjoy and it works for supporting my lifestyle, me and my husband living in California. So I have a team of about 10. I have my video editors. I have a YouTube creative director. I have my digital business manager. She is my gatekeeper. Like nobody comes to Millie, nobody talks to Millie. People ask her questions first. She has all the answers. If she doesn't have an answer, she'll ask me. It just helps keep my Slack nice and quiet instead of getting messages from everybody on the team.
Yeah, Becca's hardcore too, because I had to go through her to get to you to schedule time with you, and we're friends. So
Yeah. Yes, I have 2 people. Speaking of Becca, I have 2 people in my inboxes right now. So 2 VAs organizing my inbox, replying to emails, scheduling meetings for me. I have a community manager who is helping my students. You know, she's in the Facebook group for my courses. She's in the Slack group for this other course that I have. So like she's there making sure people are replied to and making sure I'm replying to my students too. So, community manager, looking at my list down here. Oh, a content manager. She's just making sure everybody's doing their job for YouTube, email list. She was doing all the Instagram stuff. She's helping with graphics for updating courses. And then I also have funnels strategist. She helps with the email funnels, getting people to upsell from like the freebies to a digital product to a course. A Pinterest manager to build traction on Pinterest. Ads team for we just started running ads like December last year, so we're kind of building that up a little bit. And then of course, bookkeeper, accountant, brand collaborations manager. And I believe that is everybody.
Now, I want to make sure we go on the record for this. These people are not all full time, right?
No. These are all
Okay.
contractors or agencies. I only have, aside from me and my husband, who are employees of my business, we just hired our first employee who is full time with us, the YouTube creative director who just started.
Ooh. Wow. Of all the things you listed, I did not expect that to be the one that was your full time employee. Please tell us why. Like, I'm super fascinated by this.
Yes, because I am spending more of my time with like updating my courses and like the educational material, and I'm doing like educational YouTube videos. I would love to have somebody that's like doing the industry trend research, finding out what's currently trending, helping me stay on top of trends, giving me YouTube title ideas so I'm not the one doing all that research. They'll also outline, I have like the fun video ideas. So last year I did a video that was like top 50 content creators or top 50 Forbes creators listed. Here's a spreadsheet of like all the commonalities and what they have in common. Da 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 da. Like that is a fun video for me, like a docu educational style video. So they'll be leading all of those videos, making spreadsheets, and like if we dissected thousands of YouTube shorts. Here's the hooks that work. Here's the call to actions that work. Here's the colors, common colors. So they're doing a lot of the research data, making spreadsheets and outlining fun videos like that.
That's incredible. And I'm super envious because that would be so many of us in the YouTuber space like that. It sounds super necessary. It sounds like they do a lot of research and help you with ideation and putting your videos together so they can be effective. Because, again, we're talking about how there's so much work and so many parts that go into our businesses. That would just be another thing to like help you level up what your content is so that you can, in your case, be your most successful sponsor.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, in all this stuff that's been going on, you've lost your YouTube channel, you got it back, you're hiring your first employee, you're doing all of these really great things. You've come a long way since that COVID crash. What is your next money move?
The next thing that I'm working on is getting my course bundle. It's called the BSP model. I want that live and evergreen because right now, like I did a test launch or a light launch where we open doors and then we close doors because we just wanted that first set of students to come in, go through the course, make sure it's working, make sure all the material's there. But I'd love to get that selling evergreen because it's performed so well. My audience, they love it. They love it much more than the TMI Instagram course that I have. Like people, if courses could fly off the shelves, that course bundle was flying off the shelf. Like that's my passion project right now. I love the BSP model. It's so much fun. And so getting that live evergreen and getting ads to run to it is like priority for me this year.
And I absolutely love that for you. And I also feel like it's important to note that part of one of the things that you've done to help with your next money move is you have spent so much time finding work-life balance by letting go of things so that you can enjoy the fruits of your labor, but not always be doing it all the time. What is a personal money move that you have planned for this year?
A personal money move, just like a personal thing that's like helped me not get burnt out.
Yeah, just personal thing that you're doing for yourself from all this hard work that you're doing. What are you
Yeah.
like? What are you doing?
Well, letting go of Instagram and saying no to more brand collaborations, not letting go of Instagram, but taking a break has freed up a lot of my time to work on my business and also work on myself. I am training for a marathon, so I've been more active and I've been able to find ways that bring me joy for being active. Like I've tried so many different things and I finally figured out like a specific gym that I go to where like I love their classes. I feel like I'm finally seeing some sort of like body composition changes, building muscle. I'm running more and we're by the beach, so running is fun now, like I'm being more active in ways that bring me joy, but also I read a lot. So on days where I'm like, and it's not like I'm working out all the time. It's like 1 hour, maybe a day I'm working out. That's a lot of extra time for like being lazy. I am lazy a lot. I lay on the couch. I'm a potato a lot, like 4 hours of the day. I am on the couch with a book, with my phone, watching TV. Like I am a potato 4 hours a day minimum. So it's not like I'm like, oh, I run a business and I run. I'm a marathon. Like, no, I'm very much a potato as well. So that's my part-time job.
Okay, we're gonna end on a really funny note about potatoes. Okay, so I love that you said that you have potato days. So we have a mutual friend. She's also going to be a guest on an upcoming episode with Jessica Stansberry. She has a literal scheduled day of the week. She says it's her potato day. She's
I
like,
love that.
I lay on my couch, and she usually watches Gilmore Girls, and she scrolls mindlessly. She's like, I'm not doing my hair. I'm not doing my makeup. Like, I am a potato on this day.
Mhm.
But so one of the things, this is so silly, and this is the TMI, and it does. One of the things that's so funny for me is, so when we moved to the house that we live in Michigan, very intentionally, because one of our goals as a family was to be able to homestead. We have an acre of land where our
Oh,
house is,
cool.
and so we're like been slowly doing the things that we need to do homestead stuff. And so, like, this is the year we're going to grow potatoes. My husband was doing research. There's literally a brand of potato, like a kind of potato that you grow that's called the Desiree potato. And so I'm a potato.
I love that. Oh,
I
I'm
feel like
jealous.
it's like
I'm so jealous.
and it cracks me because there's that sound on TikTok. I'm a potato. Like,
Yeah.
I am a literal potato.
You're literally a
A
potato.
potato. So
Yeah,
bad.
what a win.
It's I know it's so silly and such a funny random way to end our episode today, but thank you so much, Millie, for sharing your journey and the education, all that you've been through, so that we can all become more profitable, better creators. I appreciate you and your time. Remember, everyone out there, until next week, go make that money. Bye.
Bye.
The Funded YouTuber is brought to you by Gigastar, a parent company of Gigastar Market, an SEC-registered funding portal, and member of FINRA. Learn more at gigastar.io. Music provided by APM Music, unrivaled music to bring your stories to life. Neither Gigastar nor its affiliated companies provide legal, regulatory, financial, or tax advice. Any opinions expressed herein are those of the authors and are the informational purposes only. The information and opinions expressed herein are subject to change without notice and do not take into account the particular investments, objectives, financial situation, or needs of any specific investors.